Hold on to your hats, Boston and New England residents. The coastline is in for a soaking this Thursday. The infamous king tides are making their grand return, bringing water levels that will spill over seawalls, flood streets, and turn parking lots into temporary ponds. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. These aren't just any high tides. They're the highest of the year, and they're here to stay for several days this fall and winter. And this is the part most people miss. These tides are a dramatic preview of what our future coastlines might look like due to rising sea levels. Starting this Thursday at 2:30 p.m., Boston Harbor is expected to see water levels surge to nearly 12 feet, a good 2 feet higher than usual. These king tides occur when the Earth, Moon, and Sun align perfectly, especially when the Moon is at its closest point to Earth, known as perigee. This celestial alignment creates a gravitational tug-of-war, pulling tides 2 to 4 feet higher than normal, and often leading to coastal flooding and erosion. To dive deeper into this phenomenon, I spoke with two experts, William Sweet, an oceanographer with NOAA's National Ocean Service, and Rebecca Shore, Senior Program Manager of Education and Engagement at Stone Living Lab and Boston Harbor Now. Their insights shed light on not just the science behind king tides, but also how climate change is amplifying their impact. Can you explain what king tides are? Sure. King tides are essentially super high tides that occur globally, often reaching levels far above the norm. In Boston, with its wide tidal range, this means tides can hit 10 to 12 feet, compared to the usual 8 to 9 feet. While storms can cause these tides, the ones we'll see this week are due to the perigean-spring tide. Sweet, these wicked or king tides are the most predictable and highest tides of the year, driven by the Earth-Moon-Sun geometry. Along the northeast coast, they typically coincide with a perigean full or new moon, creating a supercharged spring tide. How much higher will Thursday's tide be? Sure. With the moon at perigee on Wednesday and a full moon just behind us, Thursday's tide is predicted to peak at 11.8 feet, about 2 to 2.5 feet higher than average for Boston. It's like a slow-motion wave. The tides lag slightly behind the gravitational pull, but when they catch up, it's a lot of water in motion. Q. When can we expect the next king tides? Sweet. After this week, the next round of wicked high tides will hit between October 8th and 10th, reaching over 1.5 feet above the highest average daily tide. Mark, what if our rising sea levels making king tides worse? Absolutely. While perigean spring tides have been around as long as the moon and sun, they're now compounded by sea level rise caused by climate change. Since the Industrial Revolution, Boston's sea level has risen nearly a foot. What once were near misses at Long Wharf are now full-blown floods, spilling into streets, businesses, and homes. Imagine a nor'easter hitting during one of these tides. It's not just a hypothetical. We've seen it happen, like during Winter Storm Riley in 2018. Sweet. By 2050, Boston could experience high tide flooding, water levels more than 2 feet above the highest average tide, for 50 to 70 days a year, up from the current 10 to 20 days. Coastal communities built on flat, reclaimed land are especially vulnerable. If an area is already flooding during high tides, but here's the controversial part. Some argue that building seawalls and hard shorelines is the solution, but these structures often redirect wave energy, creating new flood pathways. Others believe in embracing natural shoreline erosion as a way to adapt. What do you think? Should we fight the rising tides or work with nature to mitigate their impact? As the king tides roll in this week, they're not just a spectacle. They're a glimpse into our coastal future. Will we be prepared? That's a question we all need to answer. Share your thoughts in the comments below.